I am Sandra Ajawo, welcoming you all to this Facebook Live event. And I have here with me AMN Healthcare. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I am CEO and founder Sajpointe Staffing LLC here in USA, and also Sajpointe Health in Nigeria. And I have here with me AMN Healthcare. I have Danielle Chasen here with me, who is the Special Projects Director, Connetics USA. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Sandra. So nice to be here with you today.
So nice to have you here too. And I also have here with me Deirdre O'Regan, who is the Senior Director, Recruitment and Operations, Nursing Staff Solution International. Hi, Deirdre.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to present to your group today.
Thank you very much. I want to say amazing work your organization is doing with nurses out here. It's been great reviews from nurses, Sajpointe nurses who are signed up to your agency. And we are really glad to be partners with you, working together to achieve this common goal of having IENs, live that American dream, practice nursing in the USA. And it's so great to have you here. Okay. So, yeah, I think we have our, we have people coming in. We have the participants coming in now, okay? You can simply, if you're joining us, simply state where you're joining us from, okay, your location. And if you're a student of Sajpointe Academy, simply state the class you are in. Just state your location and your class. If you're done, you've passed your NCLEX, you're in the pre-arrival group, simply state that too. Or you're already here in the USA, just state you're in the arrival group of Sajpointe, so we can just get to know you. I could, do we have anyone stating that already? So I can call out names? Okay. All right. So straight to the topic for today. I just passed the NCLEX. What next? Is it agency? Is it direct hire? First of what inspired this topic? Really, there's just been a whole lot of passes lately, especially since the new generation NCLEX that started the 1st of April. It's been a lot of passes with Sajpointe nurses. As of last year, we recorded about 459 NCLEX passes, and just in July, 7 months into 2023, we already have 389 passes, NCLEX passes with Sajpointe nurses. That's like a 38% increase already with the NGN. And funny thing is that even before the NGN, there was just this fear of the unknown with nurses. Nurses were scheduling their exams way before April 1st just to not have to take the NGN. And I think right now it's even more favorable to nurses. We have nurses passing the NCLEX even more. Congratulations to those who passed the NCLEX this year, taking the NGN, and also to those who recently passed, say last week, this week. Even more congratulations, because you have the opportunity to get this information, to join us in this meeting, and even learn more and get more informed about how you can make a decision on agency or direct hire, whichever one you're interested to sign up with. So you all come to me asking, what is the difference between agency and direct hire? How do I make a decision? What are the criteria I should look at before I, go for a certain agency? What is the difference? A lot of questions come to me. So we're going to be, we're going to be having you all informed on what agency is, direct hire, the difference. We have Deirdre here, Danielle here to do justice to that. Okay, so they're also going to talk to us about AMN Healthcare, which has Grady, Peyton, and Connetics USA. So I'm not going to say much here. I'm just going to have them, take it from here. Hi. Okay, I think we can comment now.
Okay. I think we have a presentation that we're going to start with. So Danielle will share that, and I will get us kicked off here. So first of all, congratulations to each and every one of you. What an accomplishment on passing NCLEX. We know from experience that it's certainly not easy. It is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And congratulations to you all on achieving this milestone. And now comes the exciting part. What's next, right? So I've studied, I have performed well, and now you're asking yourself, okay, what is the next step? What is right for me and my family and my career goals, and what do I want to achieve when I come here to the US? And those motivations are different depending on where you are and what's important to you as you continue your career. So excited to kind of present AMN Healthcare International today. As Sandra had said, my name is Deirdre. I'm the Senior Director of Recruitment at Grady Peyton, which is our staffing organization. And then you have Danielle, Director of Special Projects for Connetics, which is our direct hire organization. So a little bit of an overview on AMN. So AMN Healthcare as an entity is the largest staffing company in the US. So there's a lot of words here. I'm not going to read through every single line, but what you want to take from this is that when you choose a partner to come to the US, you want a partner that you can trust. You want a partner that has experience, and you want a partner who's going to be with you every step of the way, not just from the recruitment process, but in the middle of that process and beyond. So why partner with AMN Healthcare? Well, you know, we like to consider ourselves your career matchmakers, not just for your initial commitment period here in the US, but also long term, right? And what you want to achieve in your career when you move here to the US. So it's not an easy decision leaving your home country and transitioning to a different environment. You can probably tell from my accent that I'm an immigrant myself. I immigrated from Ireland quite some time ago, but you know, it really is one of the most important decisions that you'll make in your life, because this is where you're going to be long-term, yourself and your family. So AMN, we are the largest staffing company in the US. We have the most experience in matching clinicians to the right job. Because we are the largest, then we have the most opportunities throughout the US. I think in a couple of slides time, we're going to be able to show you a map of the US, all 50 states, and between Connetics and OGP and combined, every state on that map is covered with opportunities. So where you want to go, you should be excited when you see that map and where you've got opportunities when you choose to partner with AMN Healthcare International. What's really important to us is our reputation as well. All right, so we are certified by the Alliance, which is very important, and we are also Joint Commission accredited. So those are all things that are very important as you choose a staffing or a direct hire partner that you want to go with. So lots and lots of numbers here on this slide, but I'm just going to focus on a couple. I already mentioned that we are the top ranked US nursing staffing firm. That little blue box in the middle there, you see listed on the New York Stock Exchange for more than 20 years. Well, why is that important? So why that's really important is that you have to see the longevity, right? The trust that our stockholders have in us, and also the responsibility that we have to our investors, to our clinicians, to our clients. Everything is public, and not every organization has the honor of being listed on the New York Stock Exchange, no less for more than 20 years. We've got over 60 clinical support leaders who work between our Connetics organization and our Grady Peyton International organization. So why that's important is that you can be confident that you will receive the clinical support that you need to be successful throughout the duration of your commitment. And because it's not easy, right? So you may have lots and lots of years of experience in your current hospital setting where you're working right now, but when you transition to the US, there are certain things that are very different. So we want to make sure that you have that clinical support that is going to set you up for success. 40 plus years in this in this industry, and with that comes a lot of knowledge, comes a lot of experience, comes a lot of expertise. So those are the things that you want in the back of your mind as you're choosing an organization who you want to partner with to take that next step and come to the US now that you have passed your NCLEX. I can move on. All right, so here is the map that I was very excited about. So you can see here 50 states across the United States, and each and every one has its unique offerings, right? So I know that when we think of the US, I know from my personal experience, I thought California or New York, and that's the only place that I want to go. But really, when you think about it, there are 48 other states. I've lived in 7 of them. And, you know, I live in Savannah, Georgia right now. And in all transparency, I never thought I'd live in the South, but I love it. And I moved from California. So what I would say to you is, as you're considering your options, have an open mind as to what you want, where you want to go and what's important to you. And let the experts in, that is our teams, Danielle's team and my team, let the experts guide you in the best direction for you and your family. So when you look at the opportunities here, so everything in purple is going to be your direct hire opportunities. Everything in that lightish green is going to be your staffing opportunities. But look at the combined opportunities that we have together in that bright green. So anywhere you want to go, if you want to go to Texas or Florida or insert name of state here, we've got opportunities for you either in our direct hire, our staffing, or both. And then it's up for you to decide. I want to move on. Okay, so AMN Health, sorry, Danielle, AMN Healthcare, your career matchmaker. So direct hire and staffing, there seems to be, it's the most common question that we get. What's the difference? What's the difference? So the difference is who your employer is, right? So in direct hire, you are a direct employee of the hospital that you are working at, that you are placed at. And for staffing, the Grady Peyton International is your employer for a 2-year commitment. So our direct hire commitments are 3 years in duration at that hospital that you are placed at. And your commitment to O'Grady Peyton is 2 years. And O'Grady Peyton files your immigrant petition, and you are an OGP AMN employee for that 2 years. And each and every one of our nurses, be they direct hire or staffing, do come on a permanent resident green card, as well as spouses and children under the age of 21. So that is the same, regardless of what route you choose. And really, what's really important here is that whatever it is that is going to be the motivator for you, either a direct hire position or a staffing position, AMN Healthcare International has it all. So collectively, we're better together. And regardless of what your motivation is, we have an opportunity for you.
Thank you, Deirdre.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dania.
All right, thank you, Deirdre. So I'm going to take over and tell you a little bit about how direct hire and staffing are the same. So I know for a lot of international nurses, there is so much information online, which is amazing because it's very helpful, but I think it can also get a little bit confusing. You might be wondering, okay, I hear AMN International, I hear Connetics, I hear O'Grady, I hear direct hire, I hear staffing, a lot of names, terms. How do I know how they're different? How do I know how they're the same? How am I going to figure out what's right for me? I know Deirdre has kind of touched on a little bit of the differences and similarities, but we're going to dive in But I do just want to say to all of our nurses out there who are interested in coming with AMN, our team will be there to help you throughout the whole way. So the AMN International team will be there to help you figure out, am I going to be better on the staffing path? Am I going to be better on the direct hire path? So while it's great to have all of this information and you can make an informed decision, don't worry. Our team is going to be there to support you the whole way. So let's jump in a little bit of why direct hire and staffing are the same. So with Grady, which is staffing, and Connetics, which is direct hire, both offer top healthcare systems as employers. So Deirdre showed that map, all the 50 states. There are top systems in every one of the 50 states that we collectively work with that we can help you find a position at. You're also going to be paid highly competitive pay and benefits. You're going to have full service pre and post arrival support. So like I mentioned, the Connetics and Grady team is going to be with you the entire way throughout your whole processing and even after when you arrive in the US. We hire for all specialties. So whatever specialty you are looking for in the US, we have employers all over that are looking for RNs in all of the different specialties. We have a great choice of locations. As Deirdre showed, we have literally employers hiring in every one of the 50 states and thousands of open positions. So please consider applying. This is an amazing time to be coming to the US as a nurse. There is a lot of demand. We're also both certified by the Alliance and DMW. As Deirdre mentioned, you know, when you are choosing a partner to come to the US with, you want to make sure that you're coming with someone you trust, someone that is ethical, someone that is fair. And with Connetics and Grady Peyton, you can rest assured because we are certified by the Alliance. So let's talk a little bit about how direct hire and staffing are different, what you can expect from both. So Deirdre commented a little bit on this. With staffing, with Grady Peyton, your commitment length is going to be 2 years. That's actually the least amount of time for a staffing company in the whole industry. So if a short time period is really important to you, you just want to get here, do your commitment, and then, you know, potentially stay, potentially move on, wherever it may be, OGP might be a really good option for you. With direct hire, you're going to be doing a 3-year commitment. With direct hire, the sponsor, the visa sponsor, is going to be the healthcare facility. So the actual hospital is the one who is going to be filing on your behalf. They're also going to be giving you your benefits and your pay, which is going to be the same as a US nurse with the same level of experience. With the staffing side, the employer is going to be AMN Healthcare. So Grady Peyton, as the staffing side of AMN Healthcare, will be your visa sponsor. They will be the ones who are paying your pay and your benefits. So you will be an employee of AMN Healthcare that is working for one of their client facilities across the US. The pay is going to be a competitive pay, and it's going to be based on the location that you're going to be going to. And you will find out all of that information of your pay and your benefits when you get your offer letter. So as I mentioned, with AMN International, Connetics and Grady, our main goal is to make sure that our nurses are supported throughout the whole process. We know it can be a very, very scary move. You know, Deirdre came from Ireland. I came from South Africa. Moving to a new country is very scary. It's very exciting, but it's very scary. I see Sandra nodding her head. It can be a lot for one person, let alone for a whole family. At AMN, our goal is to make sure that you are supported throughout the process and you know that you are not alone. So what we did is we came up with our circle of support. So that is everything in this beautiful wheel that we have come up with different tools and methods to really help our nurses feel supported. So I'm not going to go through every circle on this wheel, but I will go through a few that I think our nurses out there will find, you know, really interesting and helpful. So the first is going to be our community liaison. When you come to the US with AMN Healthcare, the moment you touch down, someone is going to be there to help you. Someone's going to be there to pick you up from the airport, to take you around, meet and greet with you, take you to the grocery store, take you to get a credit card, a car loan, make sure that you are set up for success. We don't want you to just touch down at the airport and feel like, where do I go now? That's not going to happen with us. We are here for you. We're here to make sure that you are set up, you're taken care of. And that's what our community liaison does on both the Connetics and O'Grady side. So with both direct hire and staffing, you have that community liaison. You'll also have an onboarding specialist. So this is someone on our team who is going to be there for you, speaking to you every week for the first few months of your arrival in the US. This is someone that you can ask questions to, share any concerns. You know, my kid needs daycare, my husband needs to find a job, whatever it may be. The onboarding specialist can be there to help you work through that. We know your time is precious. We know you're going to be busy setting up your new life. So that onboarding specialist is going to be a friend, a mentor, somebody who's just an extra pair of hands to help you work through this immigration process. We also have our clinical modules. So on both the Connetics and the O'Grady side, we have clinical transition to practice modules that you can do before you come to the US so that you are ready to practice when you get here. I know it can be a little bit scary for some of our nurses. You know, how is nursing going to be different from my home country versus in the US? These are a great way to get prepared for practice in the US. And you can do them on your own time so that you're all ready when you touch down. And then the last spoke on this wheel I want to talk about is our clubhouse. So our clubhouse is virtual get-togethers. They are learning sessions for our nurses. They're free. And we do learning sessions with experts on things like how to file taxes and what is credit, you know, things that might be a little bit foreign for some of our nurses who haven't interacted with this stuff before. So we're going to give you free information. We're going to help support you during that process so that you are learning with us, you're learning together as a group, and we are there to help you. So that is just a little bit on our circle of support and how we set up our nurses for success. Because again, number one for AMN healthcare for both O'Grady and for Connetics is to make sure that our nurses are happy and set up for success when they arrive in the US. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds pretty good. I'm interested. How am I going to do it? How is it going to happen? Again, so much information out there, which is amazing, but it's confusing. There is a lot of information. Which steps do I take? What comes next? And that is where we are here to help you. So we have our success path. You can find this on the Connetics website if you want to refer back. But what we did was basically break down the process into 7 easy steps. So anytime you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, unsure, you know, what comes next? What am I supposed to be doing right now? You can always refer back to the success path. So for an international nurse to come to the US, we're going to start on step 1. So that is going to be to pass the NCLEX. So I know with Sajpointe, you are with an excellent partner. I know many of you may have already passed the NCLEX with their help, which is amazing. You can give yourself a huge pat on the back because that is a huge first step to take. But that is the first step that you must take in order to start this journey. Once you have passed the NCLEX, you will apply through AMN International, and we will help you prepare for the interview. We're going to help you figure out who is going to be the best employer in the US for you. We are what you call your career matchmakers. If you say to our recruiters, you know, I have family in Texas, or I want to have a white Christmas, we're going to take that into account. We're going to, you know, find a great facility for you in Texas, or maybe we're going to find a place that has some nice snowfall in the winter so you can have a nice Christmas tree with the snow outside, whatever it may be. Our team is going to be there to help find you the best match. Once you get a job offer, you're going to sign that job offer and move to step 3. Step 3 is the visa framework. So this is where our team is going to help you apply for your green card. We're also going to help you do the licensing and credentialing, help you get your license endorsement, your visa screen certificate, everything you are going to need in these steps 3 and 4. The Connetics and O'Grady team is going to help you through this whole process. So again, you're never going to be alone. We are going to make sure that you are doing everything on time. and we get everything done as needed. Once you get your green card back, you're going to do a little happy dance because you're on your way to the US. We're going to go to step 5, which is the get ready game plan. So this is where we're going to prepare you for the transition. It's going to be exciting, a little scary, but hopefully mostly exciting. This is where you're going to do things like those clinical transitional modules. So modules that you can do online to get you ready for practice once you arrive in the US. Step 6 is going to be the arrival sequence. This is when you touch down at the airport in the US, you've made it. It's been a long journey, but you are here realizing your American dream. And this is where that concierge, that community liaison service comes really in handy, that person to pick you up at the airport, that person to get you set up. And again, with Connetics and O'Grady, we are helping you through every step of the process. And then step 7, prosper in the US with your nursing career. And that is really our goal for all of our nurses. Hopefully you are here, you are enjoying your commitment. Maybe you want to stay, maybe you want to try travel nursing with us, whatever it may be, we are here to help you through that process. So that is a little bit on each step that you would need to take in order to get to the US. So let's now focus a little bit on steps 3 and 4, that green card process. What does that look like? What is the green card? What can you expect? So a green card, known officially as a permanent residence card, is an identity document which shows that a person has permanent residency in the United States. So with a green card, you are able to come with your spouse and any dependents under the age of 21. And in 5 years after you receive your green card, you can actually apply for US citizenship. So this is actually one of the fastest green cards that you can get to come to the US. And it's very unique for registered nurses. So actually international registered nurses have a very unique opportunity with getting a green card. So these are the steps of getting the green card. We're not going to go too much into detail on this right now, but just know that with the Connetics and O'Grady team, we are here to help you walk through each step. All of our employers and with O'Grady, step 1 will already be complete. So that's pre-filing. So this is everything that your employer will need to do in order to file your green card. You can rest assured that with Connetics and O'Grady, this step will already be complete when you apply. So you will only have to go through steps 2 through 6. And our team will help you through that filing of the immigrant petition. Then your documents will move to the National Visa Center. You will get a consulate interview at the US Embassy abroad. Almost skipped over. Then you will transition to America, and step 6, living your American dream. I'm going to hand it back over to you, Deirdre, to talk about some of our other open opportunities.
Yes. So in addition to nursing opportunities, we also have allied healthcare professional opportunities, specifically for medical technologists, histotechnologists, and some other verticals that we are looking into, like physical therapists, for example. So what's different about allied healthcare professionals and RNs? So our allied healthcare professionals come on a different visa category. They come on an H-1B. The commitment time for an H-1B is 3 years, but what we hope to do in that time is adjust that H-1B to a resident green card if visa numbers are available. So we know that we are currently in retrogression, but if we are not able to adjust that status within that 3 years, then the H-1B can be extended for an additional 3. So we also have opportunities for nurses on TN visas, or Canadian citizens, or citizens from Mexico. And why is that important is because many many nurses, either from Nigeria or other countries, either go to the UK or go to Canada or go somewhere else while they are waiting on US immigration processes. And sometimes we have opportunities for them as well. So the reason why we wanted to talk about that is that, you know, if you're looking at, if you are an allied healthcare professional and you are looking for opportunities, if you have your ASCPI, you must have a bachelor's to qualify for an H-1B. That's one of the major differences between an EB3 and an H-1B is you must be bachelor certified in medical technology, have passed your ASCPI, and then have your passing English scores as well. But opportunities available in that space as well. Perfect, thanks, Dan. There's a couple of questions here that I will address. Is what is available for British citizens to come and work in the US while on retrogression? So as we know, the September visa bulletin came out today. Actually, the dates did not move any. So unfortunately, everybody right now is retrogressed. So that includes what we refer to as rest of world. So that is all countries, with the exception of the Philippines, China, and India, which are also retrogressed. So there must be a visa number available in order to come and work here in the US. But what I would advise you is to get your place in line today. Retrogression, while disappointing, is just a delay. We'll go back to talking about our 40 years of experience navigating retrogression. It's always been there. We had a little bit of a reprieve during COVID because the visa numbers weren't used, but we have a lot of experience navigating retrogression. So I would not let that be a deterrent for you applying today, using that unique link that Sandra has in the chat. So we'll know that it's coming from this live event. So that was that question. And then there was another question about practicing. Can you still practice or work in the US without passing NCLEX? Unfortunately, to practice as a nurse in the US, you do need to have NCLEX. That is a requirement. It's not something that exceptions can be made on. And then how long does the immigration process take? So typically in non-retrogression times, we say anything from 12 to 15 months from NCLEX pass. So that will get through all of those phases. But depending on what happens here next month when the new visa bulletin for fiscal year 2024 will be released, we'll have a better understanding or a better clarity on what's going to happen. And that timeline may change depending on if we remain retrogressed. But again, I would say don't let that be a deterrent for you applying today, because you want to get your place in line and secure that priority date. Okay. Talked about that one.
All right, looks like we have a question from Azora, who says, highlight more on level 4 licensing and credentialing, which is US credentials and certifications. I think Azora is talking about the success path that I pulled up and step 4. So for those of you who did not catch this, we have our 7-step success path. You can find it on the Connetics website. And it walks through every single step that an international nurse needs to take in order to come to the US. Step 4 is licensing and credentialing. So just a little bit more on what that step looks like. So with Connetics and Grady Peyton, you have a dedicated specialist who will help you get through that licensing and credentialing phase. So if you're going to need things like getting a license endorsement, so depending on the state that you're going to be going to, wherever the employer or the hospital is going to be, you might need to get a license endorsement. Our team will help you through that process. We'll help you figure out what you're going to need in order to practice in that state. You know, there are 50 states and every one of them does the license a little bit different. So without going into too much specifics, there are going to be some nuances in each of the states, and our team will help guide you through getting that license so that you are licensed to practice when you come to the US as an international nurse.
Let me see here, so there's two questions. I already answered the one about how long does the immigration process take. From NCLEX pass, you're probably looking around right now 12 to 15 months. That could be extended depending on what happens with retrogression. There's a question about, can you help someone who has started the process and gotten to ATT but can't go ahead? So I would say that that would be something that I would discuss with a career matchmaker, Precious. You know, we would want to make sure that you are prepared to pass before any additional financial obligation on your end, but certainly not out of the realm of possibility. So I would say that it's probably more of an O'Grady Peyton question rather than a Connetics question. We do have an NCLEX preparation program. Experience is required in order to be considered for that program, as well as current English passing scores. But I would encourage you to apply to O'Grady Peyton using that unique link, and let us see what opportunities that we have for you. But congratulations on getting to the ATT stage.
So I see there's a question from Ogehi Violet, who says, about travel nurse opportunity, do I have to complete the 2-year or 3-year contract with direct hire or staffing, or can I switch anytime? So again, 2 years with staffing, that's the lowest in the industry, and 3 years with direct hire. You do need to complete your commitment with OGP on the staffing side and with Connetics on the direct hire side. And then we would be more than happy to help connect you with the right people at AMN, which is the largest staffing company, and somebody on our team can help find you a great travel nurse position. I also see a question from Bacola, who says, can we apply while awaiting NCLEX exam date? I would recommend on the Connetics side, and I think Deirdre would probably agree on the O'Grady side, Bacola, you're probably better off waiting until you take the NCLEX and pass, because once you pass, then things will start moving fast. That's when our recruiters will reach out. That's when they can really help you. You do need to have an NCLEX pass in order to start that whole green card process that we talked about. So we would suggest that you apply once you pass the NCLEX.
Okay. I am. So here, do you provide accommodation? So O'Grady Peyton International assists with finding accommodation. So prior to your relocation, you work with our relocation team on identifying an apartment, a townhome in the area that you are placed. Ideally, we like to keep as close to your hospital as possible. More things that we take into account is safety. So that's very, very important. And also things that are important to you if you're coming with children, being close to schools, etc. So we do help you in finding accommodation. There also is an option of an interest-free loan that we do provide to our international nurses that is payable back in your paycheck. There is no interest charged on it. That helps you kind of set yourself up when you arrive to the US. Most apartment complexes will require a deposit. Sometimes it's first and last rent, whatever that amount will be. And we do help you with that as well through an interest-free loan. And then Dan, I'll hand it over to you for direct.
So with direct, as I mentioned before, when you get your offer letter, that will lay out everything that you can expect from your hospital employer. So that will include what kind of housing they are offering you. All of our employers will offer housing, but it will just vary. Some will offer 1 month, some will offer 2 months, some will offer 3. It's just going to depend on the employer, but they will all offer housing. And the Connetics team will then help you locate that housing and set you up. So when you arrive, you have somewhere to go. So I see a question from Uala who says, can we get reimbursement if I pass my NCLEX and already in the US? So I think on the Connetics side, and Deirdre, I'll let you respond on the O'Grady side, On the Connetics side, again, you will see in your offer letter everything that that hospital is offering you. So some might offer to give you reimbursement for NCLEX. Some might offer to give you reimbursement for your license endorsement, for your visa screen. It's just going to depend on your specific employer, but all of that information will be laid out in your offer letter. So I guess the answer is it's possible. It will just depend on your employer.
And I will take it for staffing. Is typically, if you take NCLEX independently, we do not reimburse for NCLEX. We do reimburse for English and in some cases visa screen if you did that independently. What we do though is the end of commitment completion bonus is higher for those nurses who came with NCLEX and took it independently than nurses that we put through our NCLEX preparation program ourselves.
Okay, and I see a question from Joy. Do you hire RNs who are just out of school and have no hospital experience aside from internship experience? Okay, so Joy, the good news on the direct hire side is yes, we do have some employers who will hire new grads. As long as you are flexible with where you are going to go, we have employers that are willing to hire new grads as long as you have passed the NCLEX. So when you apply to Connetics, our recruiters will be able to tell you which employers are doing that and what are your options. I also just wanted to add in when Deirdre was talking about the NCLEX, as part of the Connetics care package for all Connetics nurses, once you are with a Connetics employer, you also will receive a free English course, and that is part of our Connetics care package, which is what we offer, Connetics offer our nurses as a thank you for coming through Connetics. So if you haven't taken your English, if you're from a country that requires you to take your English, you can get a free English review course through us. So that is one of the other benefits to keep in mind.
Okay, so a lot of these questions we had answered.
Yeah. Okay.
On a visitor visa. Okay, so if you're on a visitor visa, what is very important is that when you come to the US on a visitor visa, your intent is to leave. So it is, in our opinion, having done this for quite some time, that would not be recommended, is that you try and adjust a visitor visa, because it is then that your intent was not to leave. So I would certainly speak to a partner who has experience with this, because you don't want to start something that may down the line have an adverse effect on your ability to live and work in the US. So our immigration team has a lot of experience around this. And so anytime that question has come our way, it has always been advised not to start the process of adjusting a visitor visa. Because again, that goes towards your intent of not leaving after that 90-day period, I think is what they're valid for. So hope that helps.
I see a question that says, does age matter for coming to work as an NCLEX passer, from Bridget. Bridget, good news, age does not matter. You can be whatever age, young, older, whatever you may be in your career, more experienced, new, whatever it may be, that does not matter. A good nurse is a good nurse, and I'm sure that the hospitals around the US would be interested in talking to you.
Some of these questions. I think there's the one on the RN and BSN. Does your agency work with RN and BSN? I think there's a question on that. That's a very important question.
Do we take diplomas? Yes.
Yeah.
So we do both. There are certain hospitals that require a BSN, but we do also work with diplomas as well. So yes.
Okay. Okay, that's a very good one. That's a good one. Okay. Then there's a question on IELTS. Do you just use, is it just the IELTS for the English proficiency exam? I think we can also use the OAT.
So CGFNS recently updated their exams that are acceptable for licensure. So the acceptable exams are IELTS, OET, TOEFL, PTE, and there's one more that's escaping me. But what I would say to you is that look at the state that you are looking to transition to, because not every state recognizes every exam. So IELTS, for example, is probably one of the most accepted across the US. PTE was started to be recognized a number of months ago, but not all states recognize it as being a qualifying English exam. So check out the state requirements, because they vary on what that English requirement looks like.
Awesome, awesome. So if you're endorsing to another state, you should check the states in which you want to endorse to ensure they accept the English proficiency exam that you took. It's very important. Okay, I think that we have, okay, we're just gonna take one more question and we're gonna end it there. I think we have with the I think there's a question on retrogression. Sorry.
So it says, with the retrogression, are there still any agencies giving the premium option, Gladys? So currently, Gladys, a lot of our hospital clients are still giving the premium options. They are still paying premium processing. I will say to you, Gladys, if you are interested in retrogression and learning more about that and getting updates, once a month on the Connetics Facebook page, we do a immigration update with 2 top immigration attorneys. It's tomorrow, actually. It's Fridays at 7 a.m. Pacific. So we're going to be discussing the recent visa bulletin. So for any of the nurses that are watching here and interested in getting the immigration updates, those are free shows on the Connetics Facebook page, 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm the host, and I talk to 2 immigration attorneys who give their thoughts, expertise, advice. So please do check that out if you have any questions about retrogression.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just take, that will just be the last question we take. Then the last one says, is IELTS UKVR accepted? Yes, it is. IELTS UKVR is still the same IELTS. It's just for the UK, you can also just use that for the US process. Your IELTS UKVI or any other one, IELTS is IELTS, so you can use that. So that will be the last question we're going to take. So we wrap this up now. So Akim, can you just call out the 5 names we have for the class scholarship? Then we'll call it a day, please.
1 minute, please.
Okay.
So we have Pauline Essien Edem.
Okay.
That's the first person on the list. We have Gladys Anayo.
Okay.
Edith Ezegbu.
Okay.
The 3rd person. Waila Odaize as the 4th person.
And who is the 5th?
Esther Joseph.
Okay, thank you very much, Akim. So if you heard your name called, please just reach out to Mr. NMC, and he's going to have you set up for the class scholarship for August. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this meeting.
Right.
Thank you so much, Danielle and Deirdre, for doing us. We really appreciate you, and we're really, really happy to be partners with you, working together to, have international educated nurses, practice nursing here and live that American dream. And we hope to do this again in the future. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
We're ending the meeting here.
Thank
Bye.
you, everybody.
Yeah, bye.